What is this place?
Keep your eyes peeled.
Hello my good friends, welcome back. It's season 3 of One Credit Classics, episode 40, and like we did with last season, we're starting with an achievement run. Super Contra, no death. If you remember at the start of season 2, we did Contra on the NES, no death, and it seemed like a natural kind of progression for me. I had plans to do other games, but I don't know, fate kind of drew me to this game a little bit. Super Contra itself came out in the arcades in the format we're going to play it in 1988, and it was ported to the NES under the shortened title of Super C in North America, and in Europe and Australasia it came as Probotector Return of the Evil Forces because of the censorship laws. It's a sequel to the original Contra and part of the series, and the game stars Bill Riser again and Lance Bean as they're sent to thwart yet another alien invasion. Both the arcade version and the NES version have been re-released as well on a load of platforms right up to present day. The plot tells a story of a year after the original battle. Bill and Lance are sent on another mission. This time the alien forces have taken over an allied military base and possess most of the troops, so hence you see the troops look kind of normal and then you blow them up and like they kind of aliens come out of them. So Bill and Lance must not only fight against the former comrades in arms, but a mutated form of the same alien creatures they fought during the previous mission.
What is this place?
The most famous version of this probably isn't the arcade version, because the NES version came out a number of years later, and Konami were concentrating on another kind of wave of projects really. The original Contra on the arcade did kind of commercially a bit better than this. The home version of Super Contra that I talked about came out in 1990, so a bit after this. But the PAL version, which is the Probotector one, didn't come out till 1992, which is around the same timeline that Contra 3 is coming out. So I mean, you can see why it's at that point of the series, kind of what's capable in the arcade and what's capable in the home is kind of at that point where it's starting to get a little bit closer. So it was difficult for them to do, like a port of this on a 16-bit system would have probably been a lot closer than this than Super C ended up. Super C itself on the NES is probably very similar to the first game. There's 3 stages that are unique to the NES version though. There's a high-tech base, a mountain, an alien nest. They're all vertical scrolling. And the order of the latter stages and bosses are slightly different, with new bosses featured in this version and a new final boss. The NES version uses the same power-ups as the original game, but changes the function of a fireball power-up from a gun that fires fireballs that travel in a corkscrew pattern. Player can charge guns by holding down B button, so there's a few different things. The Konami code, interestingly enough, wasn't included in Super Contra. There was a different code which gave you out a different number of lives. The original arcade soundtrack was rearranged, and the soundtrack here, it's just really good. It's one of the things that drew me to it originally, and I've heard this version of the music. I've heard
What is this
like a synthy remix that sounds like Enter Shikari quite randomly, and a guitar-y version that sounds amazing as well. It's this bit especially. This kind of comment's just really cool. Arranged for Japanese and North American by Hidenori Miyazawa, and Yuichi Sekawara reprogrammed the soundtrack for Probotector to try and ensure the samples wouldn't play out of tune pretty much. As well as this, para-computer versions of Super C developed by Distinctive Software were released in North America for the Amiga quite randomly and the IBM PC in 1990, and despite bearing the NES version's title of Super C, the computer ports were based on the original arcade game. A direct emulation of the arcade, Super Contra, was released on Xbox Live Arcade for the 360 in 2007, and they did the graphics up a little bit for that. The NES version also saw several re-releases, and in 2002, a Windows PC compilation, Konami Collector's Series, Castlevania Contra, features Super C along with the NES version of the original game. There was also a mobile phone version of it as well, quite randomly, that coincided with the release of Contra Dual Spirits. The Contra series is at the center of this channel in a lot of respects, because whenever you talk difficult games, people will mention the Contra games because that's what they were known for. They were known for being tough, and to try and do them no death is it's hard. There's no dial it up or anything. It's difficult. because there's so many different points where you can randomly die. But that's what makes all these clears worth doing. There's 5 levels on this. You start at kind of a base type level, a military base, and then there's another top-down level on a military base, then there's a jungle, and you go down into an alien base, and there's 2 levels on an alien base. There's a side-scrolling one, and then another top-down one. The problem with Contra in terms of doing a clear like this is the fact that there's so many bits of the game that are... the AI is pretty good for the time, but there's so many bits that are just completely random. There's so many... Like, for example, when an alien will walk on the screen is random a lot of the time. What direction that a guy will shoot is a little random in terms of they won't always fire straight. You'll find they might fire bullets diagonally. The aim and then one of the other things as well, if you're going to play this yourself, be prepared for the initial 5-10 minutes of you getting over how kind of bad the controls are, because they are kind of quite loose. It's the aiming mechanism, really. The jumping's fine once you get your head around the fact you've got to press up to jump to do a super jump, but you can't jump diagonally at the same time. That is a bit annoying. But the aiming mechanism, once you get your head around that, you're fine, really. But then, if you've got the spread, then you don't have to aim as much. And I think that's why the spread weapon plays such a central part in the bulk of Super Contra no-death clears that I've seen. The other thing with this as well, in terms of RNG, is that there's the way that bullets fire, that enemies fire certain bullets. For example, there's a bit on the jungle level where you get out the water and there's like a mortar cannon and it fires 3 grenades at you. There's just no pattern for that. No pattern whatsoever. I've had it fire 3 basically all on the same spot. I've had it fire 3 straight over my head so I can just run forward. I've had it fire 2 on one spot and 1 in the middle, so there's a massive gap. And then as I've gone through, fire 3 right in front of me. Like, there's no... You have to just try and blow things like that up as quick as possible. Same with the boss on level 3. There's so many bits on this that if it doesn't want you to get through, then you ain't getting through. And I'm not saying that it conspires. It's not like it's like a fruit machine where you ain't going to win if it doesn't want you to win, even if it spins you 2 and you go lower and you go higher and it spins you 1. Like, it's nothing like that. It's just the fact that it will randomly generate things to happen. And it's not to try and kill you, especially. It's not like, well, he's standing there, so I'll make these aliens come. Sometimes those aliens will just come and you have to try to work it out. Aliens coming from other sides of the screen, from both sides, is a classic one, specifically on level 4. It is just so good to be back doing this. The past couple of weeks, I've had so many messages from people saying that they've missed the show not being on a Wednesday, and they look forward to it, and when am I doing it again, and what have I got planned. And from something that started as an idea that I had to just try and beat WrestleFest, the idea that it's become this thing that people maybe kind of look forward to or anchor a bit of time around. There aren't those shows now. I put a post up the other day with a picture of Bad Influence, like the ITV TV show, and I just remember like that and Games Master anchored kind of Thursdays for me, and there isn't that anymore. And people say like, oh, I really look forward to Wednesdays because I know at like 12. I had somebody message me the other day saying, oh, I set my diary on my thing to busy from like 12:05 to 1:05. It's just sick. It's just so cool. There's just a small kind of dedicated fan base of you awesome people who watch these videos and get in contact and take the time to appreciate this stuff, because this was a part of your kind of video game growing up as it was with mine, really. And it really does kind of get me. It's amazing that I've got the support that I've got from all you wonderful people, so thanks very much for that. It's much appreciated. I try and reply to everything that everybody sends me in regards emails or messages or tweets or comments or whatever, but like yeah, you people are the best. So what we are going to do, as I said at the start before I gave that long intro and then waited emotionally because I have missed you people, is we're going to try and beat this one life pretty much. It's just so hard, but then at the same time, it's like anything. It's kind of rewarding. It's intensely rewarding. But what we're going to do, yeah, is do all 5 levels. Try not to die. Try not to swear. I can't promise that though, really. Yeah, and that's going to be it pretty much. Let's do it, shall we? Let's save the world, shall we? So what have we got? We have got... Well, we've got shoot and jump, haven't we? I mean, what more do you want? It's not Sid Meier's Civilization. Like, I don't need 2 million keyboard shortcuts to play this. I need 2 buttons. It's 1988, do you know what I mean? I need a pair of blue jeans. I need a Coke, and do you know what I mean? I need to listen to about Reaganomics. That's all we need. I need a cheeseburger. I need to boycott the Olympics. Oh, that was 84, wasn't it? Anyhow, details. 88 was Seoul, wasn't it? Yeah. So Ben Johnson got popped in a sprint. Davo. Right. The weapons that you get, if I get another spread weapon, I'll get a more powerful version of it. So instead of a 3-way, I'll get a 5-way, which is just loads better because it's just easier to clear stuff off the screen at that point. First kind of sub-boss thing. I might be able to take this out before. Yeah, I did. Bloody hell, it was a good performance. I hadn't even started landing, really. Solid. Really? Interesting. Did well there. Because what I managed to do was, if you jump at a diagonal and shoot, what you can do is one of your bullets will go over the sandbag and kill the first guy. And then if you keep hammering, you'll kill the first sandbag, and then as you're going forward, you'll get a shot on the second guy, blow the second sandbag up, and so forth. So really, you can get rid of them all before they've got a kind of chance to do anything. Now, I don't want to get this, but I want to get this one, because this is a smart bomb. Which will make the next bit, the end of this level, a lot easier. This bit's fairly straightforward, but I need to make sure I take this thing out, because that's another spread weapon, as I was saying about. And what the spread weapon does is as you can see now, I've got 5 bullets on the screen instead of 3, which makes this whole thing so much easier. Especially with these levels like this. It's built for levels like this because you're in fairly like narrow, enclosed kind of enclosed walkways, really. Now, I need to run here and just keep going, because what will happen is I'll get a bit of slowdown because there's that much stuff, and it'll allow me to dodge through those bullets safely. I know, right? Boss time. Dodge to the left, and with a shell, you should be able to take the gunners out before the thing actually starts. There we go. Without the shell, it's a bit harder. You've got to kill it quicker, and those gunners are a pain in the arse. But if you drop the shell straight away, it takes both gunners out, and he struggles to get better from there. So this jungle bit, what I've got to do here, you've got to kind of advance this bit on fairly slowly, because there's loads of enemies on this that can just kill you really cheaply. I haven't really got a chance against. Like, there's loads of stuff that comes out of the trees like that. There's a sniper there. There's another sniper in a sec, is there? Yeah. There's one on the floor there, which I've just managed to take out. Now there's the water bit. Now you can't jump through this. You can duck if you need to. Enemies still get you. I don't know, I've never tried ducking and just letting an enemy walk into it. I need to duck to get rid of that though. Stuff like that, basically. So, right, let's go forward a bit. Alright there. Close, but alright. Right, there'll be a couple of enemies here. I'm alright here. Yeah, not a problem. Now, be a facehugger type thing here across the floor. Another one from the ceiling. Another one from the ceiling up here. There you go. Now what I should be able to do is just run and gun through here. Got to try and get this thing. Yeah, that big egg thing's the killer. If you don't absolutely smash that, you really struggle. Might be alright here, but I'm at a bit of an angle, which is making it difficult. Did alright there, considering I was at a bit of... What you need to do is stand there and just shoot straight upwards, and you'll take the central ones out. The ones that come from the left and right, you need to just get in the pattern, which is stand, duck, and then jump. This is tough, because it's just, stuff comes from just awkward angles here. Let's have a look. Okay, wait a little bit, because there's going to be another one of those skull heads coming from 4 o'clock-ish. Yeah, that's him done. Right, sometimes there's a skull head here, there isn't one. Might struggle here. Oh, I've done alright there. There'll be an alien here. The key is getting those big jumps in there, because what you are is you're really, really vulnerable at that point when you run uphill, because you run uphill slower. So if you get a big jump off there, 9 times out of 10, you're fine. Right, boss time. What I need to do is wait for it to spawn. As soon as it spawns, the 5-way spread, the perfect weapon for that, because you can absolutely rinse it. Right, level 5. 3 kind of main places, well 4 I suppose, places you can die really cheaply on this. I need that, which is a smart bomb. I need to make my way through this bit, which is the bit with the mouths that appear on the deck. I'll keep moving. They'll keep appearing. Right. Now, if I start slowly scrolling these on, I might be able to... There you go. You get less of them on at a time. It's not as difficult. Right. Second bit where you can die. This bit. With all these things that come out of the walls. Right. Third bit where you can die. This bit. Right. Final boss. Wait for this to go. Wait for the 2 heads to come, pull them, and then run. Okay. Now, smart bomb, get in a position, and then just hammer. And that, motherfuckers, is Super Contra no death. Apologies about the language. I've been stuck on this for days. Absolutely days. Oh, Jesus wept. Wife's gonna absolutely rinse me for swearing with the windows open. It don't feel real, does it? It never does with these things. I came about playing Super Contra quite simply because on the I was in my head 100%. I had it that the first game that I was gonna do was gonna be Metal Slug, and I am gonna do Metal Slug at some point. And I was putting some stuff up on the Facebook page, and somebody sent me a link to these Pringles they made in Japan, and they had like the Contra characters on them. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. So I put it up, and my friend Hayden put like the intro to Super Contra up. And I was like, I'd seen it, but I hadn't seen it in ages. And I'd never really played the arcade of Super Contra. And I started like looking through it, and I was like, oh, this looks fun. And then I was like, well, yeah, like I should do this totally. And then I did it. Losing once or twice, and then I thought, this is no deathable here. And what do you know? Turns out with a score of 10 million or whatever it is. This music, though, I'll probably talk about loads in the intro because I'm recording this bit first. It's shat the illusion, but like... Here he is, Fabricio Verdum.
What is this place?
Keep your eyes
Oh,
peeled.
I love how Stallone is like, right, just keep your head down. No, Arnie's gone there. Absolutely gone, not even aiming. It's like that scene in Garth Marenghi's Dark Place with the funeral. Like Dean Lerner's got that shotgun, he's just shooting it off. Like absolute ridiculousness. Holy crap, that was a lot of fun. Tense, but a lot of fun. This is One Credit Classics, isn't it? It's so good to be back. I really missed it. I've just missed you people. Do you know what I mean? I've missed doing these videos and getting the feedback and everything. There's so much stuff. I still haven't 100% decided on what the multi-part long play is going to be. It's either going to be like Mario Kart, maybe. I want to do Link to the Past, maybe Metroid. There's 2 or 3 really, but I mean, I will. At some point, I'll get that down. It'll be this season, 100% it will. But there'll be regular Wednesday content and regular bonus content as well. I don't know where we're going to be at subscribers-wise. Like, no, I've just got no idea because obviously I'm trying to pre-record as much of this as possible. So, I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it's made you want to play this game as much as I wanted to play it, as much as I did play it for these last. It's been a fairly intense couple of days, actually, in all honesty. But yeah. Like, it's Konami doing what they do best. These kind of games, like the arcade at that period was kind of pre-Street Fighter 2. A lot of people said there was a bit of a lull, but Sega kind of reignited it with Golden Axe, Afterburn, and Altered Beast. Those games I beat in the first and second seasons that I just love so much. But Konami just never stopped making good games, and then they reaped the benefits really, because when Street Fighter 2 blew it all up again, games like people lose a kind of renaissance really in these older games, like cabinets like this started selling more, as well as the newer stuff, Simpsons, Sunset Riders, all that stuff that they did. And yeah, this went on to be converted onto the NES, and the Contra series itself is at the heart of any kind of achievement gamer, I suppose, who's worth his salt to have a dabble at the Contra games. But yeah, it's taken me ages to get this, but it was worth every second of it. What I'm going to do now is, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I always get that. That's another thing as well. Like, I always get this weird sense of, it's like anytime you beat a game, you get that weird sense of, wow, what did I do before? Like, this was my central focus. Like, what game should I kind of do now? It's like, I tell you what's worse for it. Roleplay games, like especially older ones, like, because you just get so invested in them because you have to use your imagination so much. You play like a Shining Force game or a Phantasy Star game, you get to that ending sequence, and then you're like, damn, now what? I've been so heavily invested into these characters for the last couple of months that, like, I don't know what I'm going to do if I haven't got, do you know what I mean? A massive battle to plan, and I haven't got to figure out how to promote Xylo or something. But anyhow, that's it. That's another story for another day. You good people take very, very good care of yourselves. Thanks again for being a part of One Credit Classics. It's good to be back in it. I'll see you good people very soon. Take care.